Social Slice. How are you today? I hope that you had a great start of the new year, that you have all your resolutions written down, printed and placed in front of your desk on the wall so that you can be reminded of them every single day and stay on track to make sure that those resolutions take place. It's so exciting to start a new year because we're fresh and we have big dreams and we make plans and we have all the energy to implement all the necessary steps to make sure that those plans will actually take place. So today I would like to talk about one thing that's very important for a lot of us. A lot of you guys, you have made a resolution of meeting someone. Well, you may have been separated in 2018, or you may have gotten a divorce, and you realize now it's time for you to meet somebody new. So today I would like to talk to you about things that you should not be doing during your first date and things that you should be doing during your first date. Are you ready? Okay, so first things first, if you set up a date with a woman, make sure that you ask her if she would like to be picked up, right? It's always nice to have someone ask a lady, would you like me to pick you up? Now, if she says, no, I don't want to be picked up, maybe she just doesn't want you to know where she lives, which is fine. But in that case, you just set up a date and ask her to meet you at the restaurant or wherever you have planned on meeting her. Number two, make sure that you are on time. If you meet her at the restaurant or if you go pick her up, make sure that you're on time. Don't make her wait. It's never, doesn't look good at the first date. It never looks good actually to arrive late anywhere. But especially for the first date, you have only one chance to make a good impression. So make sure you're on time. So if you meet her at the restaurant, arrive a few minutes early so that you can set up a table. You can make sure everything is ready for her. And if you're seated when she arrives, it's so much better. She will really appreciate it. Third thing, don't shake hands. It's okay to shake hands when you are in a business meeting, but when you meet a woman for the first time, give her a nice hug. It's always warm and friendly, and it's more appropriate. So no handshaking for the first date. Just give her a nice warm hug. What's really important is to always stay positive. You're going to ask her questions. By the way, do not ask her too many questions. It's okay to show that you're interested. It's not so okay to be too inquisitive. So you just ask the right amount of questions and ask the right questions. That's really important. But don't complain. Do not complain about your exes, particularly. Do not complain about other people. It's not the right thing to do. It's never the right thing to do anyway, because from what I've learned, typically people who complain about someone to you, more often than not, they will end up complaining about you to someone else, right? It's often happened to be true, and most of the time it will be true. Do not complain, stay positive, and you don't have to talk about people that you don't enjoy anymore, that you don't want in your life. Just talk about positive things, and it will set a much better tone for the conversation, and she will enjoy you a lot more and be very thankful because of that. Do not chew gum. And I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me a while ago, but a long time ago I was looking to meet somebody, and I met that person in a restaurant, and when he arrived, first of all, he was chewing gum, and he was heavily chewing gum, not distinctly chewing gum, like with the mouth closed. No, he was pretty obvious that he was chewing gum. So anyway, I just thought, that's okay, it's no big deal. But we got into the restaurant, we sat down at the table, and very quickly the waitress came and bought a nice plate of bread. It was a nice restaurant, so she brought bread and butter. And the first thing he did after he sat down, he did not even pull the chair. By the way, that's something that you should be doing. Pull the chair to a lady, open the door. That's the right thing to do. Yes, yes, yes. Even if you think the lady is not going to enjoy it, if she does not enjoy it, then she has a problem and maybe should not be dating her, right? So anyway, coming back to the plate of bread and the table where he was seated, the first thing he did after he sat down, pulled his gum out of his mouth and placed the gum on the side of the plate. Well, let me tell you that that was the end of that one. I was literally disgusted, and I saw that. I looked at him in a way that was just not at all pleasant. I was polite, so I did not get up right away and said goodbye. I finished the conversation, but guess what? That was the last time I met this guy because that was pretty disgusting. So show your manners. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the list of things that you can do. Show manners, be a gentleman, open doors, don't put your gum on the side of the plate. That's not something that the lady is gonna like, all right? Okay, another thing that's really important. You can have a couple of drinks if you want to, but don't get drunk. I can't stand, and women can't stand, to deal with somebody that is wasted, especially for the first date. Even after the first date, I would never cope with that. Unless you're the one that likes to drink too, and you're always wasted too, then maybe it's a good match, right? Otherwise, do not get drunk. It never gives a good impression. Plus, you won't be able to have an interesting conversation if you're completely wasted. And a good lady, if you're a good man, a good woman is never going to cope with that. And a good woman should never have to cope with a drunk person. So please restrain yourself. You can have one drink and that's about it, or two drinks, but don't go above that. All right. Another thing that I had experienced that I think you should not be doing at all is be cheap. Or tell her, because she's not eating much, maybe, typically women, the first date, they don't eat a lot because they are too nervous. And maybe they don't drink either because sometimes they just don't like to drink. See, for me, I do not drink. It's very rare that I even have a glass of wine. Maybe it happens to me 5 times a year, that's about it. So it's very unusual. So often, of course, because I never drank a lot or I never ate a lot, I often heard, "You're a cheap date." Well, guess what? It's okay to say it maybe after a couple of dates, and if it's jokingly, okay, maybe it's okay. But when you hear this, the first date, it's never very pleasant to feel like that you're a cheap date. So you may be a cheap date, and you may feel that the person in front of you is a cheap date, but no, don't tell her that. Just don't tell her that. And don't be cheap, right? If you take her out, just don't be cheap, and don't show her that you are cheap in any fashion or any form. Another experience I had a while ago that was quite interesting too. The guy took me to a very cheap restaurant, by the way, and I didn't know what to expect really. So he bought something cheap, and he made sure that I bought something cheap by telling me this is what you should be having. And at the end, when it was time to pay, he said to me, "Oh, I'm going to pay because it's really not a lot of money, so I can't pay." All right, dude, this is great. I'm happy for you, but I don't think I'm going to go and have a second date for you, because if you're that cheap, I'm not interested. All right, one more thing here. It's not all about money. Is say something like that. It's cheap, so you know what? I'm going to pay for it because that's okay. Well, it's telling me that I'm not worth it and that he's going to pay for it, but if it was a bit more expensive, he probably would not pay for it. Not because he didn't have the money, which in that case was not the case. It's just because he was cheap. He was a real cheap one. Remember, most people that are financially cheap are also cheap with everything else. I've noticed that men, that's true, women too though, but people that are typically financially cheap are going to be emotionally cheap too. So they are going to be cheap with everything else. So keep that in mind, all right? Okay, so let's make sure I don't forget anything here. So these are most of the things not to do during the first date. Things to do are the following. Pull up the chair, pick her up if she wants to be picked up, open the door. And let me tell you one thing here. If a lady reacts negatively to you opening up the door or pulling up the chair, or you just being a gentleman, there's something wrong with that lady. And I would not spend too much time on it. Typically women that react this way, and by the way, women, if you're listening to this, please let the guys open the door for you. Please let them be men. That's the problem in this country, and I'm seeing that more and more in this country. I'm not from here, I'm from France originally. I've traveled all over the world. And I can tell you that most of the time it's only in the United States that women seem to be offended because a man opens the door for her or because the man pulls up the chair. I mean, this is pure stupidity. And that tells me that you are insecure. You're insecure as a woman, you're insecure as a person, and if you're reacting negatively to something like that, you'd better think about why you're doing this. And frankly, if you're a guy, I don't think you want to be with a woman like that. It's a woman that will never be appreciative of anything that you're going to be doing for her. It's a woman that's very insecure, or a woman that has a lot of anger that is waiting to come out. So watch out. These are signs that you should not ignore. These are signs that are there for a reason. Bottom line is, you need to remain a gentleman. It's the right thing to do. This is what women want, even though they don't admit it. I promise you, some women say they don't like it, but that's also a way to test you. So make sure that you keep doing those things. And if she's a good woman, if she's a mature woman with a lot of confidence, she will really appreciate it. And you will reap the benefit from such a behavior. All right, so another thing that you need to do that's really important is she has spent a lot of time, I'm sure, getting ready for the meeting, for the first date. I'm sure she's dressed well, she has some nice makeup on her face. Congratulate her. Tell her, you're beautiful tonight, and give a big smile. That's wonderful when something like that happens. It just makes you feel great as a woman, it makes you want to engage more, and it builds a really close relationship right from the get-go. All right, so here are a few tips on things that you should not be doing on a first date and things that you should be doing on a first date. I wish you a lot of success. I wish you a lot of happiness. At the end of the day, it's not that difficult. Don't forget your manners. Be a gentleman. Be on time. Listen to her. Ask the right questions. Be here attentive and be patient. Don't think everything is going to happen overnight. You need to be patient, especially when you have somebody that you think is worth making the effort. So I hope this video was very helpful to you. If you like it, please like it and share it with your friends. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. I'm placing on this channel videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, different topics, and hopefully you will enjoy any of those topics. If there is a topic that you would like me to address, please write it in the comment area. And I look forward to talking again with you soon and to presenting you with something that hopefully will make a difference in your life. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.